Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. Thanks for being here. I accidentally tapped the wrong button on my phone and started airplaying to the TV behind me. So I guess that's happening now. I was trying to figure out the best way to display. Oh, cute. Now it's doing a side-by-side airplay and the thing that it was watching. I didn't even know TV did that. I was trying to figure out the best way to share this stop motion or time lapse animation, and was doing it at the last second because Lily's also in the middle of leaving for a bike ride, and I was helping her get her flag zip tied to her bike. Anyway, this is going to be a short and somewhat chaotic live stream because I need to get the photo booth ready for the kickoff ride shortly. But okay, nice to see everybody here. Who have we got in the chat here? We've got Bulls Promo has a question. Oh, don't forget to start your message with the letter Q if you have a question. It'll filter it out a bit easier for me. Have you got a link to scheduling a live stream and all that goes into making that work for newbies? Yes, actually, I do. I have a video, well, for YouTube specifically. I do have a video about YouTube Studio, YouTube Studio. Yeah, that's what it's called. And that goes into a lot of detail about how all the scheduling bits work and what it means and how the different settings are. Like there's a lot that goes on in YouTube Studio around not just stream settings, but like what auto start and auto stop do when you use them. Why sometimes you might not want to. So do check out that video. It is, yeah, it goes into that detail. How do I stop the phone from airplaying there? I wonder if I do that, if it'll just go back to full screen map. Possibly. Yes. Great. Matt says, good as short. I need to eat supper. The older I get, the worse jet lag is. Oh yeah. You know, I've noticed that too. Anyway, okay, great. Welcome. There were 3 ways I was trying to share this video clip. I did a time lapse from this Action 5 yesterday of building the video cart, partially building the video cart, and right at the last second I was like, I wonder if I can share that on the stream. So I thought, download it to my computer and just play it from QuickTime, airdrop it to my phone, and AirPlay it from there, which is what you were seeing on the TV a second ago accidentally. And then the third one, I was like, I wonder if I can just put the SD card in the camera, back in the camera, and play it off of here, because this can do HDMI out through a dongle now. So I'm going to give that a try, because I'm kind of curious if it works. So this is just like a regular computer USB-C to HDMI dongle. And in a recent update to the Action firmware, it enables it added that's the wrong way anyway. It added the ability to see if I can show that screen again. So if I plug in the dongle, it'll say, do you want to live stream 1080 or 4K output but record in 1080? So I guess it's either 4K out or 1080 out, but then it records in the opposite. So now that this is plugged in, I can actually just use it just like HDMI out from this, which is kind of cool already. So then I should be able to, at least in theory, go play back. How do I get to the... How do I get... Maybe it can't play back. Nope. Okay, it looks like Interesting. You know what is funny about this? So I can't get into the library of clips that are recorded. That little icon went away, the little play icon, which is hilarious because on the GoPro, that's like my #1 complaint is that it just like defaults you into playback mode rather than HDMI out, and the Osmo Action is the opposite, where you can't even get into playback mode. Yeah. Clear Life Mini says, excited to see more. I think you're up in the background the whole time. Was cool to watch. Yeah, I was working on. Oops, where did the TV go? Here, I'll just put this up in the background. I was working on building the video cart yesterday, and several hours. It is going to take a long time. I think I've already clocked 5 hours on it, and I have like the main structure done, but now I need to do a lot of the filling in the inside brackets and supports and stuff, and all the panels, of course, to make an actual desk. But yeah, so I did a members only live stream yesterday for several hours while I was building that, and I just time lapsed the whole thing. So yeah, if you are a channel member, there's a little, or if you're not a channel member, there's a little join link below, and that will give you access to when I do these kinds of members only live streams. What just fell? Something just fell over there. Interesting. And oh yeah, the other thing that's blocking the TV is this new fun contraption. This is a thanks Nils. This is a darkroom timer. So it's like glow in the dark. Obviously, it's not dark enough here in here to glow. It is, so it's got glow in the dark lettering on it, and the little tips of the clock hands have glow in the dark paint on them, and yeah, it's for like doing developing prints and stuff in a darkroom. There are 2 outlets on the side that are tied into the timer, so when the timer is running, one of the outlets is on, and when the timer hits 0, another one turns on. So pretty cool. It was at a yard sale, big neighborhood, like one of the fancy neighborhoods in town does a like neighborhood wide yard sale. So it's just like a couple miles square, and lots of random stuff. Some of them have fun things. Some of them have mostly just like kids' clothes or whatever. So it's fun to just walk around and see what you can find. Can it sit where the cactus is next to the globe? Yeah, I think that might be where I move it to. That looks like a good spot for it. Brian has an actual question. Oh, cool. Let me get to these questions. Yeah, start your message with the letter Q if you want to get a question into my little questions column. Can the director mini do ISO recording of 2 scenes? Gemini seems to think you can, but I can't find any evidence of this in the real world. Yes, actually it can. So it's not exactly, I wouldn't actually call it ISO recording. I'll show you why. So I'm going to do this on the web interface to it because it's just a little bit easier to see. So this, you can also set this up from the touchscreen interface itself, but it's sitting over there. I was using it to stream the stream yesterday. And so the way it works is there's they call it encoders. So there's 2 encoders in the Director Mini, and the encoders can be used for they're not only used for recording. They are used for anything that is any output. So the way it works is you get 2 encoders. You can choose the settings of each of them independently. So when you configure encoder 1, these are like little presets, so you can like save presets quickly. I really should probably delete some of these because I think these are just like the defaults that I never use. So I'm just gonna delete the 720 60 frames because I never use that one. So when you go to configure an encoder, you can choose which video source you want it to encode. You choose the codec, you choose the resolution, you choose the frame rate, you choose the bit rate, you choose the audio source, etc., etc., etc. So if you wanted to use this for ISO recording, you could use you could set encoder 1 to HDMI 1. It auto filled the audio to HDMI 1 to match. You could add encoder 2 to HDMI 2. And then now if you select you have to also select them. So now when you hit record, you're going to get two different files, which are HDMI 1 and HDMI 2. The reason I say this is not exactly like ISO recording is because if you're using the encoders for HDMI encoding, then that's it. And when you go to stream, you can't stream the program. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say I edit this. You see how it's, when I choose the streaming destination, it's actually making me pick which of the encoders it's going to be streaming. So there's not a separate streaming encoder. So there's two encoders. So now I can't stream the program. So it's not exactly ISO recording, but if you're only recording, you can make it record just two of the inputs. Or probably more likely, you would like do a program recording with the encoder 1, set encoder 2 to one of the cameras, and then when you're streaming, you can stream the program output then. Right. So that's the limit of this. This is the same, exactly the same between the Director Mini and the Director 1. So it's, yeah, I don't know if they have plans for a future one to add more encoders, but that's how I would expect it to work, is if they ever did expand it, it would be like, now the next model has 3 encoders. So you can set 1 to the program and then 2 to the inputs. So hopefully that makes sense. Better answer than Gemini, I hope. Great. Bill says, what is the best run of show app or tool? I haven't used a ton of them, but doesn't John from Here to Record have one? I would trust that one. Let me find it. It's called Rundown Studio. I'll drop a link to that in the chat. I haven't actually used it. I keep meaning to check it out, but I see a lot of people ask questions in his Discord about it, so it seems to be working well for people. He's got videos about it too, so you can check that out. Don't forget to start your message with the letter Q if you have a question, so it comes into my questions column, like Clear Life Media. You have the Osmo Pocket connected, but is there a way to get it into an SDI switcher like the Constellation, or you need to have a different switcher to go to the Constellation? So the Osmo Pocket, I should actually triple check this on the latest update because I wonder if they changed it. So the Osmo Pocket didn't, last time I looked, didn't have the ability to use a USB-C to HDMI dongle like the DJI Action does. But they're both DJI and they clearly share a lot of similar features. So I do kind of wonder if that's part of the plan. So right now the Osmo Pocket has webcam output. So in order to get it into a SDI or even HDMI switcher, you have to, well, grab the webcam output from something. So it could be like the little OBSBot dongle, or it could be into a switcher that supports webcam inputs, like the Magewell Director 1 does support webcam inputs, and then that can output HDMI. There is the streaming feature in the Pocket 3, but it's not my favorite way to get the video out. So, yeah. Jeremy asks, are you a web developer? I was in a past life. I wouldn't call myself a web developer anymore, but I do develop web things. So maybe I still am. It's an interesting question. Michael says, I've used Rundown Studio before and I love it. Many of the features of show flow I actually need and way better priced. Nice. Great. Good testimonial. Cool. The IT Never Gets Old says, have you any time to play with the OC GoStream 8 yet? Oh gosh, no, I haven't. Because I need to do a double firmware upgrade. Apparently I need to apply updates in order, so I haven't done it yet because I have to do 2 in a row. I have to update to the latest like point version, and then I can upgrade to the latest current version. So as soon as I get this cart built, my plan is to start doing rounds around town with switchers on it. So then I will look forward to more streams with this stuff. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll start doing Saturday morning outdoor streams or something like that. That's kind of my plan now that the weather's good. Adam says On Time is a good free and open source run of show app. Cool. Good suggestion. Thanks. Jeremy says, what time are you going to end the stream Eastern Standard Time? It's an interesting question because currently East Coast is on Eastern Daylight Time. So technically I would be ending at 11, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 Eastern Standard Time or 1 Eastern Daylight Time. Time zone math. I think I did that right. Scrolling back through here, what's going on? Michael made it early enough for the intro music. Nice. Yeah, cool. So, what's going on here? I am I'm looking around. Oh, I just remembered something. I discovered a new type of camera, which sounds weird, but I've never heard this name name before. What's it called? It's called it is called a, getting it tangled up, bridge camera. I had not heard this term before. It is a hybrid point and shoot, but with real lens, but not interchangeable lens. Why have I never heard this term before? So yeah, bridge camera. The reason I actually went and I just bought one. It's a Lumix. Look at this thing. It's got like an actual proper lens, but it's not removable. And it looks kind of like you know, a mirrorless body. No flippy screen, so it's clearly like more budget. Does take obviously batteries. And look at the focal length on this though, 20 to 1200. So the reason I got this was because I was like, there's got to be something between camcorder and like a camcorder, but with a better lens. And so this thing, let me grab the link for that. The reason I got it was because it's relatively affordable. And I'm very curious if this is going to be a good recommendation for live events when you need really good zoom, the way you can get with camcorders. It's $400 new, so that puts it in my opinion into the budget category of like, that's kind of the you know, GoPro price. It's DJI Action. It's similar to the these AVCans cameras, and it's a lot more appealing to me than like the, I don't know, what's the like, once you get into the Sony mirrorless or like budget mirrorless, those tend to start at like $600 to $900 for something like the, what's the Sony ZV-E10. That is $800. Yeah, so this is like half the cost of the ZV-E10. Okay, let me grab the link here. Sounds like a Sony RX 100 7, except way bigger, way more zoom, and way bigger lens. So yeah, so this is the Lumix. So what I want to do is use this for when you need to go way zoom in. I don't even know if I can demonstrate it effectively here because it's like, yeah, it's like too. There's nothing here that's far enough away. Let's see if I can. It may not even be able to focus because that's too close. Oh wait, there we go. Yeah, okay. Let me grab a HDMI cord so I can show you the insanity. I need a, what is this? Micro. Oh no, do I have one of those around? I thought I did. I thought I had one. Maybe it's in. Maybe it's in this. Weird. I could have sworn I had a little adapter for it. I'm gonna have to go run and grab one because I want to show you how ridiculous this zoom is. I normally have a whole wall of these adapters. There we go. Found one. Okay. So let me get this plugged in, patched in. Oops, that's not in focus. Oh yeah, after the stream, last week, I was prepping the photo booth and charging the. I needed to charge the battery for it, and I plugged the battery into the nearest. It's like the giant Anker battery. I plugged the battery into the nearest outlet, which was on my desk, and it turns out the outlet on my desk is connecting to the battery, the UPS. So it started drawing like 1500 watts out of the UPS, which was too much for it, and it started screaming. So that was fun. Okay, let's see. Oh, why are we not getting a video out of it? Do I need to do something with the menu? TV connection. I'm going to be really sad if this doesn't have clean HDMI out. I kind of just assumed it does because it's Lumix. Is it trying to send 4K or something out? TV connection, 1080p. Maybe that. Maybe now if I do this. I'm not seeing it pop up. I might need to plug it into something else to test. Let's plug it into a HyperDeck. Let's get my wall camera focused. Where's my wall camera? There we go. So if I plug it into one of my HyperDecks, then I can at least test if it's maybe getting a 4K signal. I keep those turned off most of the time until I'm able to fix the fan. Okay, so let's do this one, input HDMI. That should be this one. No, wait. It might be... No, it should be that one. Let's test to see if it's getting a signal from something else. Okay, that recognized the adapter. Oh, this is sending 4K out to the HyperDeck now. Okay, so I know that's plugged in. So why am I not getting anything out of this camera? We need to have a drone that follows Aaron when he goes around. I wonder if my little tiny drone could do it. Well, this might be a very failed experiment because I'm not even getting a video out of this. Let's see. Do I need to feel like I need to, maybe I need to do something. It is in HD mode, not 4K. TV connection set to 1080. Oh. What just happened? Now I recognized it. What did I do? Interesting. Try going into playback. Maybe that's what I did accidentally. Let me patch it in so I can share what's going on the stream. Okay, I see it here. Let's grab it into super source. So you can see it. This is what I see on the... Is this because I went into playback mode? That might be what it is. Now it says TV output in progress in playback mode. Yeah. It looks like it might... Wow, as soon as I went into that setting, it switched over again. As soon as I go into this menu, it switches over. Looks like no. That's a bummer. Shatters my hopes and dreams for live streaming with that. Oh well. Andre says forum answer, you can't, incapable of live view over HDMI or USB. Oh well. I'm still impressed with the zoom. Marston says my Sony ZV-1 battery is degraded. Do you recommend something I can use like to power it from power bank? Something I can buy. The ZV-1, if I remember correctly, uses the same battery as all of the ZV-1 models. So you should be able to find the... let me see if I can find the link. you should be able to find a adapter to go to USB. So I don't know where mine is right now, but there's a little DC coupler that has like a battery. It goes into the battery slot. The downside is that the ZV-1, the first ZV-1, the battery slot doesn't have the little notch. So doesn't have a little notch, and so you have to leave the door open in order for the little cord to hang out. And I don't know why I can't find the battery for it. Maybe I need to find the actual battery model number. The ZV-1, oh, even the ZV-1F doesn't. Yeah, so this is what I mean. The little battery slot, it goes, the thing goes into this, but then there's no notch. Normally there's a notch to power it. Or to let the cord run out. Oh, here it is. ZV-1. Nope, none of them do. Okay. I thought they added it in the Mark II, but apparently not. The, so yeah, you can slip this in to there. You just have to leave the battery door open in order to let the cord run. But then at least you can power it from a USB source of some sort. Back to the RX 100 Mark 7. I know that was honestly a really good camera, and I'm kind of surprised they like just took it that line a whole different direction. Oh yeah, and the other one, yeah, Matt says, I used a power delivery USB to charge it while being used. That's right. I think now I can't remember if the original one did or not. I know the RX line did not work well with being powered over USB, but I think they fixed that in these, and now you can connect a USB power here as well, and it'll actually work. You can get a Ulanzi cage with a ZV-1, which will let that door open while you put it on the dummy adapter. Oh yeah, so the that's right. The original ZV-1 had that silly problem where the tripod screw is right next to the battery door, so you can't put it on a tripod with battery door open, but you can get a cage for it, and the cage moves the tripod screw to over here. But they did fix it on the ZV-1F. The ZV-1F and the ZV-1 Mark II move the tripod screw over there so that the battery door can stay open. I just wish they would have also added a notch for the cord, but at least now, because like this is also where the SD card goes, so now you can at least change the battery and the SD card while you're using it. So those are definitely it's a good little cage. I think I actually no, I don't have one in that drawer for some reason. Martin said, my GoPro 8 replacement battery died. Original batteries are out of stock. Do you recommend any replacement batteries? I have always bought what the GoPro battery brand or alternative brand that I've bought is seems to work fine. Why can't I find it in my list? I can't find it anymore. I wonder what happened. They must have got kicked off Amazon. I vaguely remember somebody getting kicked off Amazon for something. Weird. I've definitely bought third-party GoPro batteries and they've been fine. Oh yeah, Small Rig also has a cage. That's right. Yeah, definitely recommend getting a cage for the ZV-1 if you want to use that little adapter. Yeah, well, I would have to continue my quest for an alternative to a camcorder. I really want to find something at the $400 or $500 price point that is a good live streaming camera with a good lens. But one thing I noticed about these AV cans, for some reason, on my main Wi-Fi, which maybe it's probably my Wi-Fi's fault. I have one access point now for everything here, which is like my computer, the phone, like a couple of security cameras, whatever random stuff is around here. It's probably reaching capacity because when I try to use the AVCan's SRT feed over that Wi-Fi, it doesn't work well. But if I take my travel router, which is just out of the frame over there, and connect those cameras to the travel router, then it works fine. It works totally fine. So I think it's just because it's not loaded up with other devices on the network. So I'm looking at my Wi-Fi stats, and where does it show me the capacity? I wonder if I have to go into the access point itself. Oh, I need to do a firmware update on it. Lovely. Yeah, it is kind of. So I've got 59% utilized on the 5 gigahertz band. That's kind of a lot. And then 35 on the 2.4 gigahertz. And this is not the new one that has the 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Maybe I should swap it for that. Well, it's probably fine. Maybe I should. I don't know. This is the studio, so I'm eventually going to get a new one for the house. But, yeah. The security cameras are likely saturating the bandwidth on the access point. It is true. They are definitely the chatty ones because they just continuously stream to the NVR in the closet. Tom says, do you hardwire devices whenever possible? Absolutely, yeah. So I have, for any of my, like for this computer and for the computer at the desk over there, I hardwire everything as much as possible. All the printers are hardwired, especially if the thing is not going to move. I'll, give it a hardwire connection. But, I have a laptop, I have my phone. Some of the security cameras, some of the indoor cameras I have are not hardwired just because there weren't wires there. What else is on Wi-Fi? I can actually check because I've got like a tablet for a dashboard in the kitchen. Got some IoT things like little air quality monitor, things like that. I've got that Raspberry Pi should be wired in. I wonder why it's on Wi-Fi. It probably has both. That's bad. The Sonos in the kitchen. Lily has a phone, an iPad, a computer or two. There's an OBS upstairs for Lily's, but that's not Wi-Fi video. That's just yeah, ESP32 tied into Home Assistant, which is the controller for the siren in the yard. So it's subscribed to an MQTT stream so I can tell it to scream outside, which is hilarious. It works so well. Oh, I've got a little VoIP phone tied into the building intercom. Yeah, a lot of random stuff. But no, I absolutely hardwire as much as I can. Tom says I've also had good results from isolating noisy neighbors in VLANs, but I had to add additional access points to support that. Yeah, I don't. I think I can do VLANs in the access point, but I don't know if that would solve the problem. So I should. Well, I'll do this when we move out of this loft, because most of the stuff upstairs on Wi-Fi is just because we live there, and it won't be there once we move out. Once I do that, I will try to do a better job of segmenting stuff. Like I'm going to move any new cameras I've added. I'm putting them on a separate VLAN. I'm going to keep doing that, and like I should eventually get a separate Wi-Fi access point itself for like IoT stuff. But yeah. Warren, welcome. Looking to build a vertical streaming setup, 3-cam. I'm surprised in 2025 how little choice there is, and most gear still seems oriented towards horizontal. Yeah, no, it is interesting. I think it's because vertical streaming tends to not people tend to be okay with just a phone, right? Not multicam. Without spending thousands, what would be my best starting point for cameras and switcher? Without spending thousands. I mean, this is why I'm trying to find a camera that's not $900, because like even the ZV ones are, you can get them used probably for $500 at this point, and those are good. But the ZV1 is showing at 750 new, and that's the old, like 5-year-old model. ZV1 Mark II is $900. ZV1F is much cheaper. It's $500 because it doesn't have the zoom lens. That's the one that has just the fixed lens, and it's a good camera. It's like these are good cameras, but obviously this is like a fixed wide shot. It's actually pretty wide too, because they went like vlogging setup of like you're gonna hold it here, so it's super wide. Those are all good cameras, but I'm still trying to find a good like $500, because there's plenty of good $1,000 cameras. This AV Cans is good, but it's obviously a very different kind than I mean, it's got a decent lens. Very different than a Sony camera. Sony's going to give you a better picture. Anyway, cameras aside, the switcher is the challenge, because there's not very many, you're right, that support vertical canvases. So the vertical canvas switchers, interestingly, the Director 1 and the Director Mini can support it. So when you go, I don't know if I can actually do it from here. Let me see if I can. Oh, you can. So when you go create a show, and this is the same menu exists on the device itself, you can create a vertical canvas, and then the whole device rotates and becomes vertical. This is actually a pretty good way to do it. Obviously, the ZV, or not ZV, Director 1, Director Mini have only 2 HDMI inputs. So if you're going to do 3 cameras, you would need a third one to be USB, or use a USB capture card or a network of some sort, which is totally fine. But yeah, the Director Mini, I mean, without spending thousands is the trick, because the Director, what's the price of the Director Mini now? I'm forgetting all of the prices. $1,300 for the Director Mini. So it's not exactly cheap, but it's a good option. There's also the YoloBox Ultra. Yep, Matt, thanks. It's also not cheap. And the other one is, where is it? I haven't played around with it too much yet. I think it's this one. Yeah, I haven't played around with this too much yet, but I do need to. This is the SproLink R5 Pro, and there's a little button here that rotates the canvas to vertical. So this is actually probably the cheapest. What is the price on this? Again, I'm losing all the prices out of my head. Let's find out. Sprolink R5 Pro. R5 Pro. That's it. Here's a B&H. Let me see if I have a link for it. Yeah, there it is. Sprolink R5 Pro. So that is in the chat. That is $700. So that's progress. And that gives you 4 inputs. Oh yeah, and the inputs are combo SDI and HDMI. So that's kind of cool. This is probably the cheapest. What's the price of the in-stream? YOLO Live in-stream. Because that one does only vertical. It's $1,000 still. I was trying to keep you under 1,000. Yeah. Neil says it's because our eyes are still horizontal. Sven says my eyes are round, not horizontal. Interesting. How much field do I have the same field of view vertically as horizontally? I haven't really considered that. I feel like yes, but I guess it doesn't matter because most of the things that happen on this axis. I'm not regularly looking up and down. Huh, interesting. I definitely think of my vision as horizontal. Noel says, I use 3 new Canon R50Vs for live streaming events and podcasts to substitute my Canon M50. For major events, I use the Canon R6 and OBSBot Tail 2. Canon R50V. What is that one? Oh, that's a reasonable price. It is body only, no lens, but that's not bad. Yeah, maybe I should start looking at Canon cameras again. This actually looks like a nice camera. I haven't had Canon cameras in a long time. Oh, is it new? It says in stock in B&H. David says, how do you avoid ground loop in your setup? I get some noise when I plug in my mixer to a camera I've connected to my ATEM Mini Pro via HDMI. Yeah, so ground loops are frustrating to find. It is they usually occur because of where things are plugged in. So first thing I would do is try to remove the try to solve it without adding the little isolator by changing what outlets you have things plugged into. So because that can help. And if you get rid of the ground loop that way, that's going to be a better option because then it isn't there to begin with. But you can also get a little coupler that goes just 1/8 inch in, 1/8 inch out, and it has like a transformer in there, so there's no electrical connection, and that will get rid of that'll also like break the ground loop that way. But I like to first try to figure out if I can remove the ground loop by like actually getting it out of the picture first. But that will work. And those things are like $8. They're extremely cheap. I'm not even going to drop a link to them because they're like probably the one that I bought on Amazon for $8 isn't even sold anymore, and it's replaced by some other equally no-name brand. But it's fine. Yeah. Aiden says your ZV-1F is what made me find your channel. Oh wow, okay, that's cool. I did a video about that, didn't I? Was the ZV-1 or ZV-1F comparison? Yeah. But yeah, so for me, in this case, my mic is just out of the frame up there, and it goes straight into the mixer on the floor which then makes it a digital signal, and then it's all digital from there into the mix. So I don't have a ground loop happening here, but the I actually did for a while when I was using the Zoom interface. It was when I had my room set up differently, and I had a mic plugged into the Zoom interface, and the Zoom interface then like connected into, I think I had like an ATEM Mini Extreme on the desk or something, and I did have a problem there, and I put the little isolator in and it fixed it. Oh yeah, Warren, on your vertical streaming question, I also have the same question as Sven. What kind of content or show do you plan on streaming vertically? Because I do think that, like, if you just open up TikTok or YouTube on your phone and go look at live streams that are vertical, they are not multicam and they are not good picture quality. Like, and that does not seem to be a driving factor for people not watching them. So, I'm very curious what kind of what you're finding that you need the multicam vertical streams for, because yeah, really curious what that market is. Matt says, before I retired, the ZVE10 was my go-to camera for streaming. Purchased 10. Wow, yeah. But don't get the terrible kit lens. I agree. The kit lens that comes with the ZV10 is terrible. And there are, like, the first thing you do with any of those Sony cameras is upgrade from the kit lens, because they are really good cameras if you give them a good lens. Speaking of, I need to... this is the kit lens. I have it here because I am going to shortly go run a photo booth at an event, and when I did this on Friday, I forgot to swap out the lens, and I have my 16mm super wide lens, and the pictures were very wide angle. So I'm going to bring the 30, which I think is going to be a good option, but since I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to set up the tent and measure distances right now, I am going to also bring the kit lens, which goes from 16 to 50, just so I have some wiggle room in between, even though this lens is definitely not as good as this one. So we will see. Oh yeah, Art says, good audio is more important than the video in TikTok and Instagram. Absolutely. Like, first thing you do for a TikTok or Instagram stream is get a better mic. Matt says, today I would get the OBSBot Tail 2, expensive but cheaper than the Sony Plus lens. Yeah, although if you can't, at this point you might be able to find Sony ZV-E10s used, because they've been out for a while. So, and if you can get them used, you can probably find them for a better price. Maybe not if you need 10 though. Should I branch out and start experimenting with Canon cameras? I've just lived in Lumix land for so long, but they don't seem to have anything quite as compact and cheap as that Canon. It was a nice looking Canon. Sven says, I would even say that the basic production quality is part of the appeal when it comes to vertical streaming, or authenticity is what people look for. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question for sure. So I think that, yeah, I don't know. And even with, like, if you're gonna go find, like, you know, a brand on Instagram or TikTok live, do you want that to look crisp and flashy and multicam, or do you want it to feel like someone's just on their phone? I don't know. It's an interesting question. Manuel says, would you be willing to sell the 3 ZV-1s on your desk? You know, I might actually. I've been not using them nearly as much as I should, which is a sign that I should probably sell them. I tend to do this every 6 months or so, but I tend to do a purge of stuff that I've accumulated. So it might be time for one of those again. GGMM, welcome, says on the Roland V1 HD, you can move the split screen live using a knob. I can't find this feature on the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. Can I assign a macro to shift the HDMI input left or right live? Oh, very good question. Can you nudge it? I don't think you can, because if you're in, let's say, upstream key, if you ever adjusted this in a macro, it's going to record the number, like the value that's set, not the diff. So can you make a... You might be able to do it in companion. Maybe not with a macro. Let's see if we can do it in companion. Feel like this exists. Let's see, upstream key. Change DVE properties. No, that's going to set the value. Oh gosh. Do you have to do it from a variable? Let's see if maybe super source. Offset box. Super source can do it. So if I have a super source layout created, I should be able to create a button that nudges it back and forth. So let's actually try this. Oh, this is nice. When did they do this? You can choose the connection now. Oh, that's great. Okay. Super source 1. This is the one that's active. So, and then let's see, which box is the computer screen in? Box 1. So I should be able to nudge. Let's see, that's going to be that way. And then let's make one that goes that way and go -1. And then, why is that not connected? StreamText Studio. Oh, it's just on the wrong page. There we go. Okay. So now if I push it, yeah. So I can do this from companion. But I don't think there's a way to do it in a macro. So if you are curious about companion, I don't know if you used companion before, but I highly recommend it. I do have a video now about setting it up. Here is intro to companion. Matt, gotta go. I have to meet a friend in London for dinner. Well, cheers. Thanks for joining. Tom says, okay, newbie question. If I got a ZV E10, what type of lens would give you a narrow field of vision but not zoomed in too close? What I would do is, if you have it, you probably have the kit lens. So what I would do is just experiment with zooming in on the kit lens to an angle that you are happy with, because this will go from 16 to 50. And because too close is very subjective and depends on what your distance your camera's at and all that kind of stuff, right? So find the focal length that you like by using a zoom lens, and then go buy a lens that has that same, or at least as close as you can get, same field of vision, same focal length. So like this one is, I have a 16 and a 30 millimeter lens that I like a lot as lenses. So I would like, before I get the 30, I would like zoom this in and to 30, because it'll show you on the screen when it's at 30, and then be like, is this a good distance? Is this a good length? And then you can go buy a better lens at that focal length. What about the ATEM Extreme? Could the Rode video do this instead? Oh, is this about the nudging the super source? So the super source is an ATEM Mini feature, ATEM Mini Extreme or ATEM Constellation feature. I was doing it in the Constellation that I'm using for this, but the same exact thing applies to the ATEM Mini Extreme and any of the ATEMs that have the super source feature. So it'll all work with all those models. The RØDECaster video does not have, they don't call it super source, but they do have the kind of custom layouts. It doesn't really work the way that the ATEM does, where I mean, you can edit the scenes live, but it's more like saving scenes rather than the ATEM, which is like just sort of continuously mixing video. It's kind of hard to. It's mostly vibes. The difference is mostly vibes. The RØDECaster video is like, it gives you 6 slots for scenes you can create, and you can adjust the layout of the scenes, and they're really meant to be like you create the layout and then you switch to it. With the ATEM, that concept doesn't really exist, and the ATEM is like everything's just kind of on, and you can turn on super source, you can turn on a box in the super source, you can move it around. You can't really save it. In order to save scenes in an ATEM, you have to basically create a macro to recreate it live. So it's a very different way of working. But that's why like the nudging kind of works on an ATEM, but doesn't really on the RØDECaster. Tom says, what are you using in this shot? This is, I actually don't know the focal length of this lens right now. It is a zoom lens. It's a 12 to 35 lens, and let's see if it shows me the focal length in here. It probably doesn't because it's not a motorized zoom. Yeah, I don't have. That's fun. Yeah, I don't have the indicator here because it's not a motorized zoom. I don't know the focal length of this right now. I just, adjusted. It's behind the teleprompter, so I can't even like poke it. But I adjusted until I got the width right. Razor Baby says, on the subject of Tail 2 cams, I finally received my second one. Oh, nice. I have not got mine yet. I haven't asked for them. I haven't checked in yet. I don't know. I have so much of a backlog still to get through before I feel like I need to get more things. Andre says, unless you're going the program preview workflow. Well, yeah, but even then, like, there's no scenes. It's you create your shot in the preview and then you move it to program, right? But if you wanted to save a scene, you still have to create a macro to recreate that layout in preview. So, oh, Warren, okay. Thanks for your answers and thanks for your interest in my planned project. Planning on TikTok music show based on playing vinyl records. People will be doing this, but just using their phones on a single turntable. Mine will be using 2 turntables for slicker continuity of music. Yeah, cam fixed on each, and the third camera will be for either face or picture-in-picture, face picture-in-picture, or a wide shot showing entire studio. My plan is to make this with high production values in both audio and video. That sounds very cool. I like it. I would do. You know what? I would actually do 4 cameras. I would do each turntable close-up, a close-up of your face, and a wide shot of the studio. So that's probably what I would do, because then you can, yeah, because then you can do your face picture-in-picture with the turntables or cut to the wide shot. For lens, typical good example is the Sigma 30mm f1.4. Yeah, that's exactly what this one is. It is a good lens, which I'm going to give it some use today. Andre says, never been a Canon man. When I used to do underwater photography, Nikon is the gold standard. Well, Nikons are great for photography. I think that they have been lacking in their video department. I don't know if that's still true, but definitely last time I looked. GG says, what do you recommend for a podcast to speed up editing by recording the stream? The podcast has 3 scenes, guest, host, and split. So Definitely take a look at the RØDECaster video. It's basically made for exactly that. And I have a video about that as well. Where did it go? Why? Oh, I need to put the right O in it. There it is. Check this out. Check out this video. So it has a feature which will auto switch. It'll monitor like who's talking and auto cut to the different cameras, and it will do a pretty good job. And if you're also ISO recording, you can always patch later if you want to like edit what it did. But it'll do a pretty good job of auto switching to begin with, and then you don't have to do anything to edit. Overhead of the two turntables, also a good idea for a shot. You're getting lots of good suggestions here. Saltwater Salmon says, to stream my drone to YouTube through my YoloBox Ultra, do I need OBS or similar, or can I just use the YoloBox Ultra? How do I do this? So it'll totally depend on, it doesn't really have anything to do with the YoloBox Ultra. No, it's not true. You can use a feature in that. So there's generally two ways to get videos out of a drone. Either you can have your drone stream RTMP to something, or you can take, if you have the controller for the drone that has HDMI out, take the video out of that. So the DJI RC Pro has an HDMI port on it. So you can actually have it output clean HDMI of your drone video. And then it's just HDMI. So it'll work with anything, right? Like YoloBox, whatever. The other way is to have the controller stream over RTMP. And then you need something to capture that stream. So OBS can do that, but YoloBox Ultra also can. You can have it spin up an RTMP server in it. Gosh, is that true? Or can it only RTMP pull? Now I can't remember if they finally added that. I need to turn on the YoloBox. It's been a while since I've done that. Where is it? Here it is. Is there any battery left? What was the question? We'll let that boot up. Very dusty. And then I'll see if the RTMP server is in there. But I know that it is in the Director 1. So if you go to the Director 1, you can go and add a, you can add, where is it? Produce. You can add a RTMP push. Oh, I have too many created already. If you're in here, you can go add RTMP push, and it'll create an RTMP server that you can then configure as a streaming destination from your drone. Okay, here is... Oh, I need to go... Would really wish they would get rid of this screen. Okay, add video source. RTMP. Ah, that's the wrong way. Yeah, that's the RTMP pull. So it doesn't work on that unless they change it in an update, which very well could be because I have not updated this one in a while. And the battery's going to die. So we'll have to check that. Oh, I'm not even online. Okay, well, I'll do that later. We're running out of time. Initial idea for the turntable shots would be to have the turntable in the bottom of the frame and the artwork at the top of the frame, not overhead shots, but angles to include both parts in the frame. I think that sounds very cool. Apparently, the newest generation of Nikon Z cameras have competitive video features and even working autofocus. Okay, cool. That's good to hear. Gigi says, can I stream directly with a Canon C80 or Red camera since they have the SRT feature? Technically, yes, but you're going to run into issues with, like, I would recommend using that SRT into something else and then from that to YouTube. But theoretically, yes, if your YouTube has the SRT feature enabled, you could go SRT straight from a camera. Kenyon says, okay, I gotta go, but there keep coming, questions keep coming in. I've been looking for inexpensive micro four thirds camera. I have a few spare lenses. I stream but also record podcasts and interviews. I have an ATEM Mini ISO. Is YOLO S7 usable for more than streaming? I mean, it's a live video camera. So it's not really gonna be like, gonna help you with photos or even recording video that's not being brought into a switcher. But is that even affordable? I thought that was kind of expensive. This is the new YOLO cam, right? Anyway, I would look for a used Lumix G7 because you might be able to find those for around $400 to $500. They're old, but they are still good cameras. Oh, it's $700. Okay, that's not bad. Um, 73 minutes check. Yeah, okay, I should really wrap this up. I gotta put the trailer together for the photo booth. So yeah, really should go. Cool. Okay, we are gonna wrap this up today. Sorry, cutting a little bit shorter than normal. Do keep an eye out for at some point, probably in, well, realistically, probably several weeks, probably going to do some sales on used gear. And since I don't really need 3 cameras of these size, I might keep the Mark II. But yeah, I'll probably sell these too. It is, I like it, but really just don't use it as much as I should. Anyway, we should go. Stay tuned for more of this stuff. I am working on that trailer cart build, so I'll be able to do some outdoor live streams soon once I get that. And once I get that put together, I'll be able to load it up with RØDECaster video, OC Go Stream, do some streams maybe at the airport. Try to find a good camera that has a good zoom. So stay tuned for that. It'll be fun. Let's wrap this up. And if you are a channel member, thanks. Make sure you join the Discord from the link below. Thanks to the extreme supporters of the channel, Tom, Larry, Kevin, and Marcin. Your support is very appreciated. It helps me buy random cameras to experiment with. Thanks. And yeah, if you are a channel member and you've found the link below, you should get access to the members only live streams, of which there will be more as I finish this video cart. So probably a couple more multi-hour streams. I don't know what days they'll happen yet, because I'm just fitting it in whenever I can between other stuff going on. Probably won't be this week. Probably Saturday is when I'll do the next one. Anyway, thanks. And if you are in Portland, come to the kickoff ride for the bike summer tonight, or this afternoon rather, 1 o'clock. Riding out at 3 and enjoy the sun. It'll be fun. And I'll take your photo at the photo booth on my bike. Okay, we will see you all again next week. Thanks and goodbye.